Hello everyone, I, Assistant Professor Abhigna Vaishnav, once again welcome you all to the fourth video lecture for the subject Service Marketing for Semester 9 LJ Integrated MBA. Well, we are studying Module 2 wherein we are doing Services Marketing Mix. We have already done Service Product. Today, we'll be starting Service Pricing. Now, why it is important to learn? Nowadays, customer always ask for the value. Value means different thing for different people. For someone, value means low price. For some people, value means what they get. And for some people, value means what they get in return of what they have paid. So as a marketer, it's very important to be very clear with the concepts of service pricing. Now, as you all know that the ownership does not get transferred. So the customer uses services by paying the rent. And as there is variability and the customer demand also varies. So it's very difficult to determine a standardized price. Hence, we are going to study some of the concepts of service pricing. We'll be studying how it is essential to study for the financial success. Then we'll be focusing on pricing strategy stands on 3 legs. Next is going to be revenue management, what it is and how it works. Then we'll be focusing on ethical concerns of pricing. And last, putting pricing into practice. First, we'll start with how it is essential for financial success. Well, service pricing is very difficult to calculate, understand how it is going to be calculated compared to the product part. Because there is variability in terms of input and output both. So it's very difficult to derive at a common base. Unit of price is not determined. But at the same time factor also matters. Some people, they feel like if the service is delivered faster, it values more to them. And some people feel like they are being cheated. It's a risky one and at times it's unethical as well. So make sure that you have your concepts very clear. Now, before going to the strategies, we'll be focusing on the objectives of pricing. Now, for some companies, if they focus on revenue maximization, their focus can be revenue maximize or minimize the cost. For some companies, they focus on patronage or the user benefits. In that, they may be focusing on building user base or building demand. In case of building demand, they may be focusing on demand maximization and full capacity utilization. But in case of building user base, they'll be trying to stimulate the trial of the service. They'll be focusing on market share. Now, let's look at the pricing strategies. It stands on 3 legs. It's a tripod. We'll be focusing on cost-based pricing, value-based pricing, and competition-based pricing. First, have a look at the cost-based pricing. We'll be comparing traditional approach versus activity-based costing. Well, in traditional approach, the focus was more on expense part. And hence, it's difficult to calculate the cost. Because of that, activity-based costing comes into the picture, wherein each resources and its expenses has been related with the total services that has been delivered. Hence, it is very difficult. That was in the case of traditional. Now it has become more important and more easier to calculate the cost. But from the customer's angle, they never take care about the cost. They always ask for the value. Hence, we'll be studying the second method, that is value-based pricing. Now, how to derive at the net value? As you can see on the diagram, what is net value? Net value is equal to the perceived benefits minus perceived cost. Monetary cost is not always the concern. Whenever customer compares 2 products, he always compares net value. Now, if that is clear, go with the second part. That is how we are going to manage the perception of value. As you can see on the diagram and as we have seen in the module 1 as well, a customer, when is using the services, he passes through 3 stages. Pre-purchase stage, service encounter stage and post-purchase stage. In the stage of pre-purchase service, he incurs search cost. In the service encounter stage, he incurs cost like, apart from monetary terms, time cost, physical cost, psychological cost and sensory cost. And at the third stage, post-purchase stage, he incurs cost like follow-up cost and the problem-solving cost. So as a marketer, try to minimize the related non-monetary cost. Whatever the cost that has been incurred in the first and the second stage, search cost and the non-monetary cost, try to minimize that so that you can give the value that is desired. Third stage is our competition-based pricing. Now, it is very important to have competition-based pricing when it is that non-price related cost of using the alternatives is very high, personal relationships matter, switching costs are high, and when time and location specificity reduces your choice. So as a marketer, when you actually introduce yourself, enter into the market, you always have in your mind that the competitors are setting the price at a certain level. You compare that with yours. Now, next part is our revenue management, maximizing your capacity to the fullest. Now, we all are aware about the elasticity concept, price elastic, price inelastic. So it is beneficial for the company which is having the structure of high capacity, high cost structure. When the inventory is perishable in nature, there is variability in demand as well as price sensitivity. Revenue management works. Now, along with that, there are certain ethical concerns in the pricing as well, because customers are very vulnerable when they assume that high price means high quality. They often feel like the structure is very complex, it's very difficult to calculate and understand the cost structure of a service company. Often quoted price are not the actual price. There are certain hidden charges, extra fees have been collected from you. Because of certain rules and regulations, they feel like being exploited. They feel like they are being charged penalties as well. So what is the advantage of that and how to overcome that? They design fairness to your revenue management system. Use fair and logical prices. Use published prices. Use fences. That gives leverage to the discounts. Communicate customer benefit of the revenue management. Take care of your loyal customers and use service recovery to compensate the overbooking. Now, last but not the least, putting service pricing into practice. Up till now, we were doing only paperwork. Now, how to implement? Now, there are certain questions that needs to be answered. Now, how to charge the pricing? How much the pays for that? That is been answered by pricing tripod. Either you can use cost-based, value-based or competition-based pricing. What should be the base or what should be the task of the pricing? Either it should be calculated after the completion of the task, at the admission of the task, or time factor has been calculated, distance has been calculated, the monetary value of the entire service has been calculated, or the consumption of the physical resources that are being used. Then comes the third question, that is, who should be paid? The payment. Actually, either you can pay to the service provider or there are intermediaries as well. Where should the payment be made? Either you can use intermediaries, you can have bank transfer, you can use internet for that matter. When is to be paid? Either in advance or after the completion of the task. And the payment should be made either in terms of cash, credit, or you can use any form of the available forces. Last question is, how the pricing should be communicated? Well, service provider needs to be very clear. He should compare its pricing with that of competitor. He can have intermediaries and salespeople who can better communicate. He can have good signage at the retail outlets, or he needs to be very focused that the price should be accurate and intangible. So, this is how you have to put pricing in practice. So, as far as service pricing chapter is concerned, that is it. The service marketing book that I have referred by Lovelock, that is the reference for your thing. So next lecture we'll be seeing service place. That just does it from my side. Thank you very much. Keep learning.